Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, our respected speakers and also all of the faculty members of Faculty of Economics and Bisnis, Universitas Gadjah Mada. So, it is such a great honor for me to become a moderator today for this significant conference on Islamic economics, accounting, finance, and also the business. That we will discuss about the Islamic financial literacy and inclusion, dynamics and advancement in accounting, business, and economics. As Pak Gumilang and also the MC have stated previously, we are really privileged to be joined by three distinguished and also very insightful speakers who will bring the expertise in the field of Islamic economics. So today, without further ado, I would like to welcome Bapak Profesor Dr. Mohammad Kabir Hassan, Bapak Dr. Sutan Emir Hidayat, and Professor Nurul Indarti to the stage. Okay, please. Here, the first speaker. Okay. Ya, di tengah. Okay. For the first speaker, we will have Bapak Profesor Mohammad Kabir Hassan, Ph.D. as our first speaker. So I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Mohammad Kabir Hassan, a renowned professor of finance in the Department of Economics and Finance at the University of New Orleans, and also the recipient of prestigious Islamic Development Bank Prize in Islamic Banking and Finance in the year of 2016. Professor Hassan is widely recognized for his contributions to the field of finance with over more than 300 published works in the top-tier journal, including more than 200 papers indexed by Scopus and including more than 200 papers indexed in ABDC journals. So Professor Hassan has been cited as one of the most prolific authors in the finance literature over the last 50 years, as has been highlighted in the study published in the Journal of Finance Literature. In addition to his academic achievements, Professor Hassan also a distinguished financial economist with extensive consulting research, teaching, and also research experience in various domains. His expertise has been acknowledged by leading global institutions such as the World Bank, International Monetary Fund or IMF, African Development Bank, UNDP, Islamic Development Bank, and also the other governmental bodies, including the government of Turkey and also Bangladesh. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Mohammad Kabir Hassan. Our second speaker, Dr. Sutan Emir Hidayat. So, Bapak Sutan Emir Hidayat is the director of the Islamic Economy Supporting Ecosystem at the National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, or Komite Nasional Ekonomi and Keuangan Syariah. And beside in KNEKS, Dr. Sultan Emir Hidayat also serves as an associate professor at Gunadarma University. So, before joining KNEKS, Dr. Sultan Emir Hidayat was an associate professor in University College of Bahrain, and he holds a Ph.D. in Islamic Banking and Finance from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. So Dr. Hidayat also has presented papers at numerous well-known international conference, including the Harvard University Forum on Islamic Finance in the USA, the Gulf Research Meeting at the University of Cambridge, UK, and also the events hosted by Islamic Research and Training Institute in various countries. In addition, his contribution in the field of Islamic economics also recognized and making him listed in the Islamika 500 by ISFIN from 2015 to 2020, highlighting as the 500 most influential personalities in the global Islamic economy. So please join me welcoming the second speaker, Dr. Sutan Emir Hidayat. Okay. So I think we have such a great pleasure also to have our faculty members here, Professor Nurul Indarti. So I would like to introduce you. Professor Nurul Indarti is a distinguished academic in the field of management at the Faculty of Economics and Business UGM. And in this year, Professor also became the first woman appointed as the professor in the Department of Management UGM, marking a historic milestone for our institutions. And Professor Indarti is renowned for her impactful research in entrepreneurship with a special focus in marginalized groups, including women and also people with disabilities. Beyond her research, Professor Indarti also made substantial contributions to academic curriculum development at UGM because she pioneered the integration of entrepreneurship as the core subject in management students, both in undergraduate and also the graduate level. So please join me in welcoming Professor Nurul Indarti as the third speaker today. So for today's session, each speaker will present, followed by the dedicated Q&A answer. And as the moderator, I firstly would like to apologize first. I may occasionally act as timekeeper and may interject in gently to maintain the smooth flow of the session. So for all the respective speakers, I really appreciate for your understanding and also your great cooperation first. And after the presentation, we will have the next Q&A session if the time's allow. And I strongly encourage you all to participate actively for today's discussion because this is such a rare opportunity to meet the very distinguished speakers today. So without further ado, please welcome our first speaker, Bapak Profesor Mohammad Kabir Hassan, Ph.D. for the presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The distinguished guest in front and my dear students, probably starting from there, and also my fellow panel members. And I seek your permission. I may need a little longer because I spent a lot of time trying to understand Indonesian financial literacy, and actually I had to translate the entire document, like 300 pages, and I have prepared my presentation on this. So I want to share what I have learned about. I was very amazed the level of work that has been done in this area, and of course in the passing will bring the Islamic finance context as well. But the financial literacy is not only here, it's important, it's all over the United States. In the United States, the Congress has passed a sort of law, not mandatory, that all high school graduates should have some sort of financial literacy, because that, proliferation is a very bad thing. Even the United States policymakers recognize this. So having said this, if you look at some of the figures that I have gathered to know, Islamic Indonesia financial literacy rate is 38%. Not bad compared to other countries. Only about 1/3 of Indonesian population is considered financially literate, showing a major gap in knowledge. Financial inclusion rate about 76%. Despite low literacy, financial inclusion is relatively high, primarily driven by the banking sector. Low scores in financial safety. The Financial Fitness Index that was done in 2021 shows that the Indonesian citizens score low on financial safety, signaling vulnerabilities in crisis situation. Now, what is the role of these financial services in the Indonesian economy? Contribution to GDP is about significant. Bank loans reached about 5.6 trillion in 2020, and stock market capitalization is also very high. The expansion of digital finance. Digital finance has grown rapidly with products such as equity crowdfunding, securities crowdfunding emerging as alternative financial resources. rising role of the pension fund and insurance sectors. Pension fund grew to rupiah 295 trillion and insurance premium 362 trillion, reflecting a growing awareness of the financial planning for the future. Now, there is a correlation between financial literacy and economic growth. Research shows a positive relationship between financial literacy and economic growth. Countries with higher financial literacy tend to experience higher GDP per capita. Improved financial decision-making. Individuals with better financial knowledge are more likely to make sound financial decisions, optimizing personal and national economic well-being and public well-being in financial literacy. Increased financial literacy leads to higher rates of financial inclusion, enhancing public well-being and poverty reduction. So, what is the importance? Finally, financial literacy as a driver of economic growth. The knowledge, skills, attitude, and behavior needed to make sound financial decision. Bridging the knowledge gap, Indonesia must focus on raising financial literacy to improve public well-being, economic resilience, and global lessons for Indonesia. Learning from global strategies can also help Indonesia enhance its own financial education framework. Now, enhancing financial education. So the Financial Literacy Index, some of the figures that I'm sharing from the document is a wonderfully done document. The Financial Literacy Index measures the percentage of population that is financially literate. In 2019, the index was 38%, indicating roughly that 38 out of 100 Indonesians were financially literate. This represents an increase from previous years, 2013 and 2016. Despite the improvement, a significant portion of the population, around 62%, still lack adequate financial knowledge. Now, the Financial Literacy Index has steadily increased. That's a good sign, 2013 to 19. The gap between men and women has narrowed, but women still have a lower index. The rural index lags behind the urban and national indices, not surprised. There are significant disparities between provinces, with DKI, Jakarta having the highest index, and East Java, Tenggara the lowest. Now, financial literacy by demographics, the percentage of financial literacy has increased across all occupational categories from 2016 to 2019, and the age group between 26 to 35 consistently demonstrate the highest percentage of financial literacy. The percentage of financial literacy correlates with education level, with those having no schooling or incomplete elementary education showing the lowest percentage. Not surprised again. Higher socioeconomic status is associated with higher percentage of financial literacy. Now, the familiarity with the financial products is another issue. Savings products are consistently the most familiar to the Indonesian public. Bank products dominate the list of familiar products. Islamic banking products and newer product services are the least familiar. And that also shows the less penetration of Islamic finance into the Indonesian society. Financial literacy across sectors has increased, with banking having the highest percentage and microfinance institutions the lowest. So these are some data generated by OJK, Indonesian authority. So what are the attitudes and behavior? In 2019, almost 89% respondents report having financial goals. There is a shift towards long-term financial planning, with the most common goal being preparing for old age. Saving is the primary method people use to achieve their financial goals. The majority of respondents rate their financial competence as moderate or ordinary. Now, when you look at the Financial Inclusion Index, Financial Inclusion Index refers to the availability and access to formal financial services for all members of the society. And this index has also been increasing, reaching 76% in 2019, surpassing the government target, even surpassing what the government set it out for. The banking sector has the highest inclusion index, while microfinance institutions have the lowest. There is still a gap between the financial literacy and inclusion indices, including that many people have access to financial services but lack the knowledge to use them effectively. Access is necessary condition, but knowledge is sufficient. Gender and financial inclusion, men have slightly higher levels of financial inclusion than women. Globally, women are less likely to have bank accounts than men. In Indonesia, more women have bank accounts than men, partly due to governmental assistance program. The bank account ownership is increasing faster among women than men. Public knowledge and confidence. The banking industry is the most familiar financial industry to the public. Capital market is the least familiar because everywhere you go, there's a bank. Even when I enter in this campus, there are banks everywhere, and you have centers by the bank. The banking industry is the most familiar financial industry to the public. The capital market is the least familiar. Financial resilience and planning. Now, financial resilience is the ability to overcome financial challenges. Many Indonesians lack good financial planning skills, particularly for emergencies. The most common strategies for old age needs are continuing to work and withdrawing savings. Utilization of financial assets for retirement is low. Confidence in post-retirement financial planning is also low. So you really look at these senior citizens who are about to retire, they do have inadequate financial knowledge and planning. Now we talked about the correlation. Financial literacy, financial inclusion are positively correlated, but there are significant gaps in both financial literacy and inclusion between provinces. As I said, DK Jakarta has the highest of both, highlighting disparities across regions. Now, public preference and access. Most Indonesians prefer bank products. Banten is the only province where other formal FSI products are preferred over banking products. Pension fund products are the least preferred. ATMs are the most familiar and utilized delivery channel for financial transactions, indicating a shift toward digital access. Preference for digital channel is higher among those with higher education and spending levels. So how do you enhance public understanding of Islamic financial literacy? So global ranking, if you look at Indonesia, in 2000, IFDI, the second was 2020, it was first in 2019. It is opportune to become a global hub for Islamic finance, but unfortunately the most recent data that came out 2023, it went to number 3. Malaysia is always tops the list, second one is Saudi Arabia. Now, key goals of the strategy is what? Enhance financial literacy, target various demographics, especially the millennials and Gen Z, all of sitting in front of me. Promote Islamic financial products, increase awareness and uses of Islamic financial services. Now, what are the strategic initiatives taken by this sector? Educational programs, development of financial literacy materials for different age groups, use of technology, learning management system, LMS, for independent learning. There has been a push towards infrastructure development. It's called Keluarga Sikap Initiative. Rebranding to communicate financial information effectively with the public and students. Animated video series targeting specific communities. Public awareness, if I said, there are different types of Islamic financial product. Wadia or the Moraba saving products is about 24% awareness, because if you look at Islamic banking, mostly is Moraba-driven industry. Other products, Islamic KUR, motor vehicle financing, home ownership financing. Challenges, very low familiarity with the micro work of bank funding. There is a lot of BIM in Indonesia, but unfortunately I was very surprised. Data shows that people are not very familiar with it. Now, how do you empowering the public in the digital age in financial inclusion? Internet penetration in Indonesia is very high, 74% in 2020 figure. Approximately 197 million users of internet, and they spend a lot of time on this. Primary use of internet, social media about 52%, communication by messaging about 29%. You see, your dean is also messaging while listening to me, so it's everywhere. They are busy. Entertainment, 22%. Financial services uses, very few users prioritize banking or online trading. Devices used, smartphones, 95%. When I was coming to Indonesia, they said that you have to declare whether you're bringing iPhone or something like this because it's regulated. Laptop, tablets, about 20%, PCs of 9.5%. These are the devices they use a lot. Time spent on online. Over 8 hours, about 20% of the Indonesian spend 1/3 of their daily life on maybe you can check yourself to actually whether you do this. If you have iPhone, it tells you how many hours you have spent on the iPhone. Monthly internet costs of 75,000 rupiah to 100,000, almost 29% of the population. Trust in online information, most can be trusted 26%, half can be trusted is about 27%, nothing can be trusted is 1.7%. So most of the people are comfortable using online and digital technology. Now, security of online transaction, said to perform transaction almost 69%. It's not safe, 5%. Again, you have trust on the digital technology. That's a good thing. Concerns about personal data security, they also, cyber security breach, and you hear this story a lot, is about 58%. Now, evaluation of the implementation activities to improve financial literacy. This is what OJK or Indonesian government is doing. Wonderful thing. I was very impressed really, the amount of work that has been done in this area. Strengthening the financial education infrastructure, OJK has developed a series of financial literacy books catering to different stages of life, from early childhood to retirement. That's great. In middle age, I can look at a book that caters to me. I understand the language. Launched the learning management system for easy access to financial literacy information. It also developed a national database of financial literacy materials. Now, financial education digitization, OJK utilizes digital media like mini sites and social media for financial education. So these are some of the examples. Collaborates with influencers to promote financial literacy. Initiated education activities through Instagram, Live Sika. Okay, I take it for granted. Okay, what is it? Created the Keluarga Sikapi video series, produces public service advertisement on various platforms. The community financial education and mass education conducts finance team outreach and education activities with various communities, including farmers, fishermen, women, MSME entrepreneurs, Indonesian migrant workers, students, employees, persons with disabilities, retirees, and 3T communities. Organizes mass financial education activities like Wewang, performance, fiscal, financial expos, and financial education booth. KNEKS also is involved in one part of the program. Now, financial education is support of government programs. So you have BPNT, increased education and outreach activities regarding the non-cash food assistance program, training of trainers activities for regional officials, BPNT assistance, and distributing bank agent managers. You have the collaboration with relevant ministries, institutions to improve BPNT program understanding and distribution. Now, the financial education to improve Islamic finance and capital market literacy, Ramadan Safari Festival, Gadjah Safari Ramadan with various activities like podcasts, contests, public service advertisements, webinars, Islamic banking, Baganja with talk shows on Islamic financial products and services, encouraging the opening of investment galleries at universities and launching the mobile investment gallery program, and conducting financial market education webinars with the theme, Becoming an Investor in Your Own Country. Now, strengthening of HR infrastructure through training of trainers program for teachers, university lecturers, the Association of Indonesian Economic Teachers, and the Indonesian migrant workers. TOT program for judges is very good, clerks of religious course to strengthen their capacity related to Islamic banking and Islamic finance. Religious-based TOT program targeting participants who manage Islamic boarding schools, Ph.D, PGI, KWI, and M.B.A. Now, evaluation financial literacy activities implemented by FSPS. So, FSPS are required to carry out financial literacy inclusion activities at least once a year, KPI, to see what impact it is having on the society. OJK issued regulations and guidelines for FSPS to plan and implement these activities. 2,404 FSPS are required to submit reports on their financial literacy activities to OJK. Now, evaluation, compliance, and implementing activities to improve financial literacy, increase in the percentage of FSPS compliance in submitting reports on realization of financial literacy from 2018 to 2020. Pawn shop had the highest level of compliance, followed by the broker-dealer sector, because they are highly regulated, the second one. Need for more mass and in-depth financial education activities related to various financial services industries other than banking. Now, number of financial literacy and education activities materials, total 13,324 financial literacy and education activities carried out by FSPS in 2018 through 20. Increase in activities 2018-2019, followed by decline 2020 because of COVID. Most activities performed by the banking sector need to step up activities massively to increase the financial literacy index evenly across all segments of the society. Now, 4 areas for financial education. The banking sector, focus on improving public financial literacy on Islamic banking products and calculating cost, investment returns, and fines. For non-banking financial sector, thematic efforts, alternative between pension funds, financial institutions, the capital market. Third, address low confidence in using pension fund products and the importance of savings, investment, and protection insurance products. Fourth, promote the use of financial instruments like mutual funds, stocks for sustainable passive income. Now, number of conventional Islamic financial literacy education activities, if you see, number of Islamic financial education activities increasing, but is still relatively small compared to the conventional one. The red one is so big and the green one so small. Positive correlation between Islamic financial literacy and inclusion. We need for greater efforts to improve Islamic finance literature. So these are the different areas of Indonesia where the financial education has been penetrated. So I just want to compare this with the other benchmark, the rest of the world, and this also came out in the OJK report. Now, OECD, INF 2020 initial surveys, 26 countries participated. They were measured on the financial knowledge, behavior, and attitude. Indonesia ranked 6th with a score of 13.3. If we take about TIA from the United States and GFLEC 2020 survey conducted in the US, measured financial knowledge using PFIN index, respondents answered 52% of the questions correctly, gap in literacy rates by agent. So in that category, Indonesia also do fairly well compared to the other countries. The Standard & Poor, again from the United States, Global Financial Literacy Survey, measured financial literacy in 148 countries, assessed knowledge of interest rates, compound interest, inflation, risk diversification. Only 33% of the adult worldwide are financial literate, and Indonesia is very close, about 32%. Now, how do you empower society through financial literacy? Importance of financial literacy and key challenges. Why financial literacy matters? You know, the president set a target of financial inclusion of 90% by 2024. In line with this, the strategy mix has been refined and refreshed in order to accelerate and optimize the achievement of the predetermined financial literacy inclusion index targets with the creation of 2021-2025 SNLKI. So reduce vulnerability to financial fraud and mismanagement, contributes to overall economic stability, but there are challenges to financial literacy. You have diverse demographics and various education level, impact of the pandemic that happened in between, rise in cyber crimes related to digital financial services. So let's do very quickly a SWOT analysis for the strength of this country. Positive trends in financial literacy in banking, pension funds, and capital markets. Mandatory financial literacy activities for financial service providers, FSPS, and that's very important. Those are providing service, they must have the knowledge. Educational infrastructure like book series and learning management system, strategic alliances with various institutions. But what are the weaknesses of the system that you have? Low financial literacy and inclusion in capital markets and insurance sectors. This is the low, then we need to improve it. Low confidence in managing finances after retirement. As I said, they shared the data with you. Low literacy and inclusion among farmers, fishermen, reliance on savings and work for financial resilience during old age, gaps in literacy indices between provinces, urban and rural, Islamic and conventional. So the gap exists, it has to be reduced. Need for more comprehensive monitoring and evaluation methods. What are the opportunities? Large population of Gen Z and millennials in this country. The government's National Digital Transformation Program, this is an opportunity, room for improvement in literacy among low-income and less educated groups, and potential for expanding financial products beyond savings and basic insurance. And what are the threats? Increasing complexity of financial products in the digital finance era. Many of us don't understand what you're doing, fintech, crowdfunding, and so on. Rise in cyber crimes due to digitalization, potential focus on financial soundness over literacy by financial services providers during economic downturns, diverse demographics and various education levels, geographic challenges, and limited access to technology in some region. So these are some of the initiatives taken by the government. So let me just move forward and come to last two slides because she is looking at me. She is getting angry. So many of you want to do, study in the financial literacy. So what are the theory and conceptual framework? 2 slides I want to share. So you really need to know the theoretical framework. So there are different theories, dual process theory, standard portfolio theory that leads to financial determinants, theory of planned behavior, self-efficacy theory, there's a psychological dimension of financial literacy, social learning theory, consumer socialization theory, the societal dimension, life cycle hypothesis, economic dimension, technological acceptance model, that is a technological determinants. So a variety of demographic, economic, financial, and possibly psychological factors influence financial literacy. However, our understanding of the sequence and interrelationship between these factors is still evolving. So there is a room for research in this area. Recognize that a single theory may not fully capture the complexities. Researchers have proposed numerous hypotheses to identify the most influential factors affecting the financial literacy at the individual and firm levels. To shed light on the interplay between these factors, we present a framework built upon this theory. So this is what the conceptual framework. So if you want to do study, you look at the societal factors. What are those factors? You have the cultural norms, you have the gender gap, you have the peer group, socialization agents, social interaction and experience, family and parental influence. You look at this, so if you design, let's say, primary data collection, you want to design a survey, these are the factors you must look at. Socioeconomic factors, household income, size, income, years of experience, economic education. Psychological factors play a role, cognitive ability, non-cognitive ability, attitude towards risk, openness to problem solving, financial anxiety, self-efficacy, hopelessness, attitude towards money. You have to look at demographic factors on the left-hand side, gender, age, education level, income, marital status, employment. You have to look at financial factors on the left-hand side, money management, financial knowledge and education, skill, support and guidance, financial awareness, financial numeracy, financial satisfaction, financial behavior, financial attitudes and capacities, risk attitude, risk tolerance. You also have to look right-hand side, technological factors, fintech literacy, technology literacy, fintech adoption, green digital finance, gamification, digital finance, and finally for Islamic factors, you have to look at the religiosity. That's not a problem in Indonesia. Islamic financial product, which is true or not. You have to have a general Islamic finance literature, knowledge, Islamic financial activities, knowledge of Sharia compliance, knowledge of riba and product, and Islamic financial calculation. So if you want to do research, these are the last 2 slides you really need to put attention in. And everything else that I have said, what is the condition in Indonesia, and I was amazed really. And by looking at what you have accomplished and done, the background work, and it can only move forward. And with that, I want to thank you everyone, and you can find all of these things into this reference. And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Muhammad Kabir Hassan. So I think many of you may have many questions in your head. Please be patient until the end of the session because we will have our second speaker, Dr. Sutan Emir Hidayat. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Dea. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah amma ba'du. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Dr. Gumilang, Vice Dean, Dr. Rocky, and then Dr. Akbar, my all-time friend, and Dr. Putri, who's inviting me to come here, and also Prof. Nurul and my guru, Prof. Kabir. Actually, he has covered all the materials that we are going to discuss here. Yeah. MashaAllah, you have done a great research about Indonesian financial literacy. Maybe I'm just complimenting whatever you have said. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer, Pak Rocky, for having me here at this prestigious event and again at this prestigious university. I've mentioned to Prof. Kabir that Faculty of Economics and Business in Universitas Gadjah Mada. Sorry, because I'm also UGM because Universitas Gunadarma Margonda. Yeah. So it is the first Faculty of Economics or School of Business in Indonesia CSB accreditation. Am I right? Yeah. This is the second one. Alhamdulillah. After UGM, other universities followed. So normally I'm buying time because my slides not appearing here. So actually, the initiator is UGM and other only followers. So, okay, if you have problem, yeah, Prof. Kabir has done great. Maybe I'm complimenting about the situation in Islamic, economic, and financial literacy. I would like to ask the audience, do you know what is the last result of Islamic economic literacy index? Can you Google Islamic economic as well as Islamic financial literacy? Yeah. Wants to answer the last 2023. Yeah, the last one. Hello? Yeah. Yes? No. The Islamic economic literacy. Ya, kalau bahasa Indonesianya hasil what? 37? No. Nih, bahasa Indonesianya nih ya, Google ya, bahasa Indonesianya. Ya. Indeks literasi ekonomi syariah 2023. Nah, indeks literasi ekonomi syariah 2023. Berapa? Hah? Iya, betul. 28. Next slide. Tunggu biar next slide. Lagi. Next slide. Nah, no. Before. 28. You are right. Yeah. But don't see my slide, okay? Hide. Islamic Financial Literacy Index, the latest one. Before. Udah, skip kita. Siapa? Kalau bahasa Indonesianya, Indeks Literasi Keuangan Syariah Indonesia. Terbaru. 39, kan Google, the power of Google. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Again, from the beginning, my slide. This is the first one. Alhamdulillah, we have to thank God, because inshallah, if we thank God, God will give us more, right? The Ustad and also Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala said, La in syakartum la azidannakum. So alhamdulillah, we have to thank God that now Indonesia is in the top 3 of all global ranking publishers. Give big round of applause first. Why I have to say that? in 2018, which is about 6 years ago, yeah, we were number 11, number 10, number 6, while we are one of the biggest Muslim country in the world, right? But now, alhamdulillah, we are at the top 3, and even one of the global Muslim travel index, yeah, we are number 1. Yeah. So this is why we need not to make us complacent, but to motivate us to do more, yeah, right? To work hard. And thanks God, if you ask about Pak Akbar, he is very well-known scholar in Islamic economics all over Indonesia. Yeah. Okay. And our central bank, BI, calculated the contribution of Sharia-compliant businesses and financing to GDP. And it turns out it is estimated around 46% of almost 47% of our GDP contributed by Sharia-compliant business activities and financing. And then for halal certification, mandatory halal certification, by the way, we are the only country in the world that have halal assurance product act or law, right? Where gradually all the products circulated in Indonesia must be halal certified. Yeah, and the target last year 1 million micro, small, and medium enterprises to be certified achieved. Our halal product export for the last 5 years grew by 11%. Yeah, and our Islamic financial asset also grew by almost 9.6%. Yeah, our social finance. What are the social finance instruments? Zakah, infak, sedekah, wakaf. Yeah, can you imagine that our president, His Excellency Joko Widodo, yeah, launched. By the way, he graduated, or at least he used to study here. Yeah, at least. I said I'm not accusing anyone. At least he used to study here, or he graduated right from this university. He launched the National Cash Wakaf movement, and he launched also the National Zakah movement. And because of that, the Cash Wakaf increased significantly, yeah, to reach 2.6 rupiah, and for Zakah around 2 trillion rupiah. And the spirit to develop Islamic economy and finance is not only happening in the central government, but also in provincial governments by forming the provincial committee for Islamic economy and finance, including Yogyakarta. Yeah. Next. Yeah. Our Islamic financial asset also grew significantly, and at the moment, the market share of Islamic finance in Indonesia already stood at 11%. Yeah, consisting around 7.3 of banking, yeah, Islamic banking, 4.8 for the non-banking financial sectors, and also the capital market around 20%. So in Indonesia, the Islamic finance is not driven by banking. So unlike other countries, if you go to Malaysia, they will say Islamic banking, yeah. But in Indonesia, which segment is driving the Islamic financial industry is the capital market, yeah, especially the sukuk, the government sukuk, yeah, sovereign sukuk. Next, yeah, this is the latest figure for the literacy according to OJK, the Financial Services Authority. For the Islamic Financial Literacy Index, the last one, this year already reached 39%. But there is homework for us. Yes, the literacy index for Islamic finance reached 39. What about the inclusion? Only increase little only, right? Only 13%, right? What does it mean? Yeah, what already mentioned by Prof. Kabir, there is a lack of access in many provinces in Indonesia. They are already exposed to the seminars. If we ask how many seminars in Indonesia conducted about Islamic economics and finance, thousands, right, across Indonesia. But why the inclusion is low? Because they don't get the access. Yeah, they don't get the access, especially the rural areas. Yeah, this is the homework for us. And economy already we say, and even our Vice President already mentioned that by next year, the Islamic economic literacy must reach 50%. So you know how crazy that the work of KNEKS, yeah? So together with OJK, with BI, we are now formulating a national strategy to enhance our Islamic economic literacy using dynamic models with the scenario. Even we will have the dashboard with many variables, and then we can say, for example, in this month, too many events conducted, move it to other months, and then the campaign, each campaign can be measured also. What's the impact into the of course this is a scenario, yeah, into the literacy index. It's going to be launched soon. This national strategy. Just wait for it. Inshallah, it will be announced during the KNEKS plenary meeting soon. Inshallah. Next. These are the challenges. As I mentioned to you before, the biggest challenges are limited access to Islamic financial services and burdensome informal financial services. So these are the two. Yeah, next, because I don't want to spend a lot of time for this. Next. Yeah, and again, when it comes to the age groups, yeah, the people at the age of 15 to 17 and 51 to 79, they are the least aware groups, yeah, of age. Then, based on the region, it is correct what Professor Kabir mentioned, disparity between the city and also the rural areas. The rural areas, yeah, they are low. And also occupation, in terms of occupation, the farmers, the students, and the planters and other workers, they are the least aware of the Islamic financial. And in terms of education, those who completed only elementary school, they are the lowest. Next. Yeah, this is, actually we can improve and we have the strength. Yeah, we still have the challenges. No need. Skip. Yeah, this is very important also. The Islamic finance in Indonesia not that much integrated with the halal industry. And even our halal industry still has huge potential to grasp. Yeah, for example, like the export. I just give you, because I'm given only 15 minutes. How can I elaborate? Yeah, a lot. Yeah. For example, like food. Average import in the region, in the OIC countries, it's 1,630 trillion rupiah, while Indonesian export only 119 trillion rupiah. How come? Right? So this is a huge gap. Yeah. And other things still, if you can see in each sector. Next. Now, but thanks God, the government, and we hope the new government will continue, and we believe it. Why? Because now Islamic economics, or Islamic economy and finance, halal industry, and social finance are already included in our national long-term development plan, RPJPN, 2025-2040. So for 20 years, inshallah, Islamic economy, social finance, halal industry will be the concerns of anyone who is sitting in the government. Yeah, and the Vice President instructed the synergy between Islamic banking and halal product industry must be there. Among the top 30 OIC halal producers in the world, 15 of them are from Indonesia. Do you know about that? Yeah, and one of them is a very famous brand. I'm sure that the ladies especially. Yeah, what I don't want to promote it, but you can say again. Wardah, yeah. So it is correct, yeah. But unfortunately, the issue is what? Yes, top 15 out of the 30 biggest halal producer are from Indonesia, but they, in terms of their connection with the Islamic finance, is still very low. Yeah, they use but partial. So this is actually Islamic finance should be halal industry, right? Can Islamic bank finance haram in industry? Of course no. Yeah, there was a Indonesian Chinese who is using I always promote this. Using Islamic banking products. Yeah. When I ask her, Ibu, why are you using Islamic banking product? Mas, he said. I am using Islamic banking products because I know that my money will not be used for bad things. What do you mean by bad things, Ibu? Said that. Yes, Mas. Actually, all Asian are in Indonesia. Yes, Mas, he said. My money will not be used to fund using liquor. Liquor is bad because making people are unconscious. Yeah. And then she said also, my money will not be used for gambling or activities, for casino. Masya Allah, you are non-Muslim, but you said that one. And then she told me also, even my money will not be used to produce cigarette. Oh, you are right. Why? How come I'm explaining to my student the difference between Islamic finance, riba, and all those things? Why don't I focus only in this aspect? Yeah, easy to answer, right? Muslim explain to me like that, right? And how come the halal producer, they are not using Islam? This is our homework. Next. This is a promotion about my institute. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Yeah, now Indonesia is my friend Dr. Asad. Assalamualaikum. Yeah, Wahidin. Now Indonesia, Alhamdulillah, has already a dedicated entity, yeah, to take care Islamic economy and finance, which is called KNEKS. It was transformed from KNKS before, and then becoming KNEKS, and inshallah soon to become a permanent. Yeah, in the process now, you pray for it, yeah, because the draft for the presidential regulation is already finished. Is just waiting for the president to sign. Yeah? We don't know. Actually, our expectation is the current president, but the current president still hasn't signed yet. Yeah, hopefully, before he finished the office, he signed. At least later on, only the inauguration of the head of the new agency. And the committee consists of 16 members. Yeah, including the ministers and head of relevant authorities. So during the plenary meeting of KNEKS, it's just like cabinet meeting, yeah, chaired by the president or the vice president, attended by ministers. You know, before these ministers, maybe they are not exposed at all to Islamic economy and finance. Now, at least, I'm telling you, actually more actually, at least if there is plenary meeting, he will be busy. Asking his eselon 1. Mana nih, kerjain. Yeah. And the eselon 1 will ask to eselon 2. Mana. Yeah. The eselon 2 will ask to eselon 3. Mana. So like that, yeah. So like before the plenary meeting, you know, the prior meetings with the eselon 1, yeah. You know, they come out, yeah. And the whole things that we are developing are based on the master plan. So, and the master plan is divided into these members. You do this, you do like that. And they are monitored. Of course, there are success, there are homeworks. Yeah. So we have to admit, yeah. But at least, for the first time in our country, the development of Islamic economy and finance is well planned and well coordinated. Tepuk tangan dulu dong. Next. This is ecosystem. I will take 15 minutes. No. Yeah. This is already I explained to you that must be integration between halal industry and Islamic finance. Skip. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you Bapak Sutan Emir Hidayat. Such an interesting update from our policymaker from KNEKS. And as per your information, our current Vice President Bapak Maruf Amin also serves as DSN MUI, Dewan Syariah Nasional in MUI. So we are really proud to have our Master Plan of Economics and Business for Indonesia at the moment. Okay, for our third speakers, please welcome Professor Nurul Indarti as the to present today.
Thank you so much, Mbak Dia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Respected Vice Dean, Bapak Rocky, Pak Ahmad Akbar, the previous honorable speakers, Professor Kabir and Mas Emir, Associate Professor Emir Sutan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to be here and thank you very much for the invitations, Pak Rocky, Mas Akbar. Even though I'm not from the Islamic finance people, so my perspective here that I would like to share a bit different. Maybe I would like to look at from different point of view. Professor Kabir and Associate Professor Emir already mentions and focusing on the macro perspective of Islamic finance, Islamic literacy, financial literacy, even though when we are talking about the financial literacy, end up with the individual behavior to adopt, to understand, to have the awareness, to understand and to adopt such financial activities. My perspective will be starting from the micro perspective, how the company utilize the resources, how the company make the strategy to be more efficient and try to compare between the two settings, that is the Islamic organizations and just conventional organizations. Which relate to the competitions, which relate to the competitiveness. In this context is on the film performance. When the two speakers emphasizing on the macro perspective, the policy makers, something. So hopefully my perspective will be, add another knowledge, expanding the knowledge because in terms of the financial literacy, it's better as well to understand how the company utilize their knowledge to optimize the organizations to be more competitive. So my title in this sessions will be the role of resource. I use the resource-based view of the film and the efficiency, how the organization utilize the resources that they have, and how it affect the film performance, how they use these two strategies to gain the competitiveness. This is the insight from the conventional and Islamic perspective. This one. So I should then say the next, and the next. Yeah. I would like to start with the questions. There are introductions to the debate, especially from the strategic people point of view. In the beginning, Pak Emir mentions about FEB UGM succeed in the implementations of quality management, and we are successfully achieve not only the first accreditations by Emir, but also the second and the third. Yeah, and that belongs to the whole faculty. This is about the competitiveness. Actually, we are the first, and hopefully still be the first. So the question is, what makes a company different from others? When we are talking about difference, means that better. We are achieving more efficient, for instance. So different always in a good term, yeah, not different in bad term. So what makes a company different from others? What makes our faculty better to another faculties, for instance. When we are talking about cosmetic business, Wardah, I think the majority of ladies in here using Wardah because you are from Islamic groups. Even you? Oh, okay. Are you using Professor Kabir? Maybe he doesn't know about the Wardah. Halal cosmetics is important for the men to understand what it is important for women, you know. So what factors influence film performance? This is the questions that maybe always comes to debate. When I'm looking from the literature on strategic management, there are two schools of thought. When we are talking about the competitions, competitiveness, film performance, first is industry structure. They're focusing on external forces. They're focusing on the external factors that affect the ability to a firm to compete. Yeah. The second thought is internal resources. This is focusing on unique organizational processes. I start to give the detailed comparisons between the two. The industry structure, we follow the structure conduct performance theory. This is very famous, introduced by Michael Porter. I believe everyone in this room knows Michael Porter. Sure, yeah? Michael Porter's emphasize on industry structure. They're focusing on external aspects influencing from performance. So when we learn from the perspective of Michael Porter, what he emphasized, the organizations can utilize the external forces. What would be the external forces? The competitors. How many players already in the market? The existing suppliers, for instance. The regulations, for instance. The substitutes product. The complementary goods in the market. So when the company decided to compete, they may utilize the external forces to gain the competitions. On the other hand, the second school of thought in this context is resource-based theory of the film. It is introduced by Werner Feld in 1984, as well as Barney. That is why it's called Barney's view. It emphasizes on how the organizations rely on the existing internal resources. I mentioned FEB, for instance. When FEB UGM wants to compete compared to other business schools in Indonesia or in Asia, we can utilize, we try to analyze what we already have. Yeah, what kind of scholars, major research, and so on, brand name, reputations, the existing internal resources that we have. So Barney mentions that the organization can focus on internal resources if they want to compete. So they have to find the unique processes and also resources that will, at the end, drive the firm performance. So this is the two different thought in the strategic literature when we are talking about the competitions, a competitive advantage, and firm performance. And what would be the role of resources and efficiency on performance? I would like to start with RBV. As I mentioned earlier, according to RBV, a resource-based view of the firm, this theory emphasized the role of internal resources. So when the company wants to succeed in the market, they want to compete and to make the winner, to be the winner in the competitions, they have to rely on what they already has. Yeah. The resources that they have, probably the assets, the financial capitals, the skills. The skills can be the culture, the leadership, yeah, and also capabilities, the brands like FEB, UGM, we know who doesn't know UGM, for instance, as the first state-owned university, yeah, not created by the Dutch. Yeah. Another university was the first, but it is something with the Dutch. Operational processes, that's also resources. Informations. Today is the era of knowledge and informations. So using informations and knowledge is the internal resources the organization can use to compete. The technological capabilities, competences. So this is some resources, any resources that organizations have to compete in the market. But Barney emphasized not all resources that organizations has can win the competitions. There are criteria. The first is as long as if we have the competencies and our competencies are unique, valuable, rare, only 1-2%, only this company that has the skills, the technological capabilities. So we can have like our resources valuable, our resources become rare, and it's hard to imitate. So if our resources is really unique, make the competitor become more difficult to imitate, and our resources are not substitutable. For Indonesians, if we eat many bread, we still thinking we haven't eat rice. So meaning that bread cannot be substitute product of the rice. So if we have resources that other competitors can not imitate, they cannot produce another product that becomes substitute to our product, we have the level of bargaining positions. So we can reach first temporary competitive advantage. If it will sustain all the time, we can reach the sustained competitive advantage. So this is what resource-based view emphasize. Another one is about the film efficiency. What is it about and how we measure? Because when we are talking about the resources, I'm using RBV, it relates to how organizations, how FEB, for instance, how WARDA, how organizations utilize their resources. According to definitions of efficiency, efficiency is the ability to achieve a desired output or result with the least amount of input, effort, and waste. In a business context, efficiency often involves minimizing costs. So when we are talking about efficiency, in FEB, yeah, Pak Gilang, we always think what activity, what plan that at the end we can minimize the cost. That the first efficiency. But maybe also efficiency involves how we can maximize the productivity or optimizing resources to enhance overall performance. That's why when we measure efficiency, we can calculate with how the resources can minimize the cost or how the resources can maximize the profit. There are some definitions of efficiency. The technical efficiency is the maximizing output from a given input, or the allocative efficiency is the optimal combinations of input and outputs. Efficiency doesn't mean that we use a very minimum resources to gain the maximum. If we do like that, it is not efficiency. In my perspective, it is called as the greedy business. It is zolim. Yeah. It's not good business. Okay, so what is the impact of efficiency on firm performance? There are many studies prove that there is an impact on efficiency on firm performance and some indicators of efficiency. The big picture of the impacts is the cost reductions and profitability. When the company do streamlining operations, they will cut waste and boost profitability at the same time. Another benefit is the increased productivity, because they will optimize workflows, leads to faster process. Yeah. And adaptability is also another benefit, another impact, the positive impact of efficiency. The efficient operations allow quicker response to market changes. Another one is sustainability. So reducing waste through efficient practices promotes sustainability. So this is looking for the future. Yeah? And at the end, the ultimate goal for the company they are focusing on efficiency is the competitive advantage, hopefully sustained competitive advantage. So efficiency leads to better pricing or quality, improving at the end the competitiveness of an organization. How Islam views efficiency? I believe everyone in this room already familiar with this one. Yeah, the Islamic perspective on efficiency. Islamic efficiency integrates values, what in Islamic term is called ihsan. It is generosity, and it account, it is perceptions, excellence. According to the Prophet Mohammad, emphasize effective and efficient work will maximize the benefit and avoid wasteful activity. This is the core functions of business. So if you do something, organizations does something, it is important to understand, to be aware that what we are doing, it is adding the values. Yeah, because in the core functions of business it is only adding the values. Yeah, the core function of business, what is it? The transforming input into certain output, adding the value, doing the value added activity. That's why the Japanese companies, Toyota, they followed actually the Islamic principle by the Muhammad, because they try to eliminate waste. They're only considering activities that adding the values. If activities that the company is doing are not significantly adding the values, they tend to eliminate, to become the zero defect, to become the zero waste. What will be the waste? Waiting time. If you're only sitting here waiting for another person, sleepy, it is not efficiency. It is not, value-added activity. That's why there is no delay. We always start on time, for instance. If there are many resources idle, this one there is some seats, right? Yeah. So this is idle seats. This is waste. Yeah. So the organizations, it is important to be aware of this one and implement how the organization become efficient and avoid wasteful activities. Okay, how we compare the Islamic efficiency to just the conventional efficiency. The conventional efficiency focus on cost and output maximizations driven by market and economic forces. What will be the implications? When I start looking at the theory, the RBV, the conventional efficiency adopt RBV, to leverage internal resources for performance gains to get the profit. But Islamic efficiency, it is rooted in ethical and moral guidelines, especially the Sharia guidelines. They try to balance economic efficiency with Islamic values, taught by Prophet Muhammad. So what will be the implications? Integrate RBV with Sharia compliance, efficiency practices to make sure ethical and sustainable growth. So this is, hopefully you will see the difference between the operational, 10 minutes, right? Yeah, the operational and conventional, the conventional efficiency and Islamic efficiency. The key principles of business processes in Sharia firm is profit sustainability within Islamic boundaries. So the anchor is always the principle in Islam, focuses on justice and benevolence rather than maximizing the profit, and the aim for satisfactory profit. Not maximizing profit, but satisfactory profit, meaning that the organizations must maintain a balance. A balance between what? A balance between ethical values and a business growth. So this is the key principle. And in the business process of the Sharia organizations, what I learned, they follow the Sharia screening process guided by the Indonesia Financial Service Authority, Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. I think already mentioned by Prof. Kabir. Prof. Kabir explained a lot the report from OJK and also emphasizing, adding by Prof. Emir. In this guideline, in the screening process, there are two methods. The first is qualitative. Qualitative method, it is aimed to make sure the business activities comply with Sharia. No gambling, ribawi, haram activities. The quantitative is the financial ratio, including the interest-based liquidity and non-halal income. So the screening process of the Sharia business, they are following this kind of types. Yeah. What will be the objective? The objective is to minimize information's asymmetry and to reduce agency problem. And at the end, to ensure compliance with Islamic values and financial and operational processes. I followed Pak Hanafi, Professor Hanafi from UGM. And the outcome is the firms that pass the screenings tend to show strong financial performance. Yeah. So that's make the clear understanding that later on the performance of Sharia businesses in some cases better than non-Sharia businesses. In some literature, I found the Sharia screening process different in countries, across countries like Indonesia, Kuala Lumpur. They have, maybe Mas Emir knows better about this one, Indonesia Sharia Stock Index. The business screening carried out may not contain gambling, harar, maisir. Yeah. In Malaysia, they have Kuala Lumpur Sharia Index, the same considerations, the same criteria. Pakistan, KSA Mizan Index, they are also indicating some indicator on non-halal products, insurance investments, and also FTSE Nasdaq Dubai Sharia Index. The point is, in this setting, each country follows specific guidelines to ensure compliance with Sharia principle in business activity as well as the financial ratio. Yeah. So this is, some are the same. They are talking about gambling, garar, no halal products. The financial screening slightly different in terms of the percentage among these four countries. So this is about my research, current research, a bit about Sharia firms and non-Sharia firms that may be related to these sessions. This research is about how we try to test or to examine the efficiencies components impact on from performance, comparing to those the Sharia businesses and non-Sharia businesses in the context of Indonesian manufacturing sector. Why we were interested focusing on manufacturing sector in Indonesia, because when we are talking about the efficiency model, the resource allocations model, it is very common. According to the previous study indicated that the majority of study in this context focusing on banking sector, services industry. Very limited study focusing on manufacturing sector in Indonesia. Another fact is that the contributions of manufacturing sector in Indonesia is quite big, yeah. And there is increased investments from now until 2030. That becomes 90.25%. That makes the contribution to the total GDP, gross domestic product, from this sector is quite significant. That's why we decided, we think it is relevant to focus more on this one. The efficiency model in our research. Yeah. So when we are talking about efficiency, it is not only about the cost efficiency. It may relate to human capital efficiency. Human capital efficiency is the ratio of value added to employee salary expenses. So the condition when the higher values indicate better human capital efficiency. The cost efficiency is related to the operational things. It's measured as the ratio of cost of products, goods sold to total sales. So the lower values indicate the better cost efficiency. So another way of measuring efficiency is the capital intensity. The capital intensity is calculated by the ratio of total assets to total sales. Yeah. So the lower values suggest more efficient use of capital assets. So in the efficiency model, posit three factors like this, operationalized, measured by the return on assets and return on equity as the indicator of firm financial performance. So what we found, the Syariah businesses, it is generally more stable, efficient, compared to conventional firms. Yeah, this is the fact. In terms of the type of efficiency, the Syariah actually doing utilizing the three efficiency: the cost efficiency, human capital efficiency, and capital intensity efficiency. But we found that there is a strong human capital efficiency contributions to the overall performance. What is the human capital efficiency? The investments of the company when they're focusing on the training, developments of the people in the organizations. And the non-Sharia firms, they rely on capital intensity when related to the firm performance. And the non-Sharia firms also focus more on conventional measures of efficiency and performance. But in Sharia businesses, they are addressing the strict Islamic principles, prioritizing the balance, growth, and ethical profit making. And this is, I think, the last sessions, but there. Sharia firms may have stronger focus on long-term sustainability and ethical practices, which could align well with efficiency principles. And based on the study, the RBV, the internal perspective, the internal structure combining with the external structure, the efficiency are crucial for firm performance. This is what common using to test this one. And the suggestions for future is that, again, probably some of you are interested to study deeper, to explore how these models can be adapted across different industry sector, maybe make the comparisons between manufacturing and not manufacturing, or maybe the comparison between service, banking, and manufacturing, and compare with the different economic system. I think this is the last of the presentations. Thank you so much. I give the time to Mbak Dea. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Professor Nurul Indarti, for sharing about the Sharia business practice empirically about her research. So because we only have quite limited time for the first session, I would like to give the opportunity for two persons in this Q&A sessions. Please raise your hand and the organizer will give the mic to the participants. Okay, the first one, yeah, the other one. Should you introduce yourself and your institution? Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zahra. I am from the Department of Islamic Economy and Halal Industry of Universitas Gadjah Mada. Thank you very much for the opportunity. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to all the honorable speakers who gave us such an inspiring presentation and knowledge this morning. Well, we have been informed of the happy news that Islamic financial literacy among Indonesian people has been increasing lately. So the question is, how can this increase improve economic well-being, particularly for individuals and communities traditionally underserved or excluded from the formal financial system? The second question, how can Islamic financial literacy programs can be specifically designed to support and encourage the growth of Islamic social entrepreneurship in Indonesia? And the last one, given the ease with young people are falling into online debt traps for consumerist purposes, how can Islamic financial literacy programs can be specifically designed to address this issue and promote responsible financial behavior among the youth? As we know that the Gen Z literacy index is the lowest based on the data shown in the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Zara, for such an interesting questions. Only from one person, but we got bonus and request questions. I think the first questions, I would like to address this question for Professor Kabir, if you please. Sorry.
You state the question.
How the financial literacy can serve the underserved or excluded and marginal community?
You asked me the $1 million question. We are having problem with the top echelon, right? Even Gen Z, higher income, the literacy rate, financial inclusion. How you can address financial literacy? If you see in my presentation and the strategy adopted by the Indonesian government, they have 3T generation. That those are the marginalized communities. And they have different types of financial literacy module or materials they can reach to, through videos, through, different booklets that accessible at different levels. So that probably was going to have an impact. Now, coming back, KPI, in order to measure it, is too early. You have to start a program. So the way we measure before and after, and that probably has not happened yet. So down the line, maybe will be a lot of data generated. But speaking about the data, one of the problems that we face in developing countries in general, we are not good in collecting data, preserving the data so that people can use it. One of the good things about the West, they collect all sorts of data. But with the technological improvement, I think, if you go there, if you, let's say, give a program or let's say literacy class to a marginalized community, you can look at over time what is happening to them, and you can electronically storage the data and somebody can do the research. Because one of the blueprint that OJK has, They want to really see the different financial programs they have adopted, what is the impact of this program on the community. And with that score, you can also connect this, what is the impact of the economic growth as well. Because as I said, there's a correlation between these two, but the correlation doesn't mean that causation. So you really have to show A to B. So that can be done. I want to, your question, I just want to add something to Professor Nurul. Why the Nurul is a male name in my country, but Nurul is a female name in Indonesia.
Nurul is female in Indonesia.
Yeah. Actually, her presentation, if you want to do, in my early life career, academic career, did a lot of efficiency studies. And we do the Porter type of analysis. Actually, what she said, the RVP model probably is more suitable if you want to study the Islamic farm, because Islamic farm profit maximization is not the only goal. There are other, the societal or stakeholder objective is more prominent for the Islamic farms. So that's an excellent presentation. I enjoyed it. And also I want to say, I learned a lot from his presentation as well, even though he said that he learned, but from both of you coming here, myself, I increased my knowledge base. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Kabir. And for the second and third questions about designing the policy, maybe it is the more suitable for Bapak Sutan Emir to answer this.
Yeah, I think you raise a very difficult question, and it can be the research question for a research. Yeah. I'm trying my best to answer your question. Actually, also mentioned by Prof. Kabir, yeah, when it comes to Islamic economics and finance, we always balance, also highlighted by Prof. Nurul, yeah, all the stakeholders' interests, right? And also in Indonesia, similarly, yeah, when we develop Islamic finance, for example, we stress the importance of both commercial and social finance. That's why if you look in Indonesia, there are many innovative products. For example, like cash wakaf link sukuk, and then now cash wakaf link deposit, right? And or maybe in Indonesia, Prof, just maybe to share some information with you, there is what we call as share wakaf, yeah, wakaf saham, right? And there is also insurance benefits wakaf, yeah. All these innovative products, because the root is in Islamic economy and finance, you should balance between all the interests, yeah. And how to help those who are marginalized, at least, yeah. If you can see in Indonesia, there are many Indonesian people categorized as mustahik. There are 8 recipients of zakah, right? They are unbankable. What does it mean by unbankable? No bank is interested in giving financing to them. Yeah. So how can we serve them? The only way to serve them is through social finance. This is also what Bangladesh has, the country of the origin of Professor Kabir Hassan, has been doing, right? So therefore, Alhamdulillah, also in Indonesia we have Basnas, right? And BWI, BWI, yeah, that have program productive zakah and productive wakaf, right? This productive zakah and productive wakaf, you are not only giving the zakah and then let them do whatever they want. If you did that one, what will happen? They will remain poor, yeah, because you give them the zakah, they don't know how to use the money they will use for consumption purposes. So in order to elevate them or transform them from being mustahik into muzaki, they need assistance. That's why every day I got WhatsApp from Basnas, pictures normally. I believe some of you also got pictures from Basnas with programs. Bapak Ahmad receive zakah this amount. yeah, maybe 6 months ago or 1 year ago, yeah, and now before receiving the zakah, his monthly income this much. After receiving zakah for 6 months and get assistance, increase to this much. Do you get this one? Yeah, many people, yeah. This is part of their campaign also, yeah. So this program, and by the way, many Islamic banks also like BSI, Bank Muamalat, they have LAS or zakah institution under them, right? For example, BSI, I don't want to promote actually, but I have to mention, yeah. BSI Maslahat, yeah. Muamalat have Baitul Mal Muamalat, yeah, and other Islamic banks also have. They established social financial institution just to help this unbankable. Because why? Because if later on people ask, what is your contribution to the unbankable? If you look at the bank, they will not be able to answer. They will say, I have this institution, this BSI Maslahat and Baitul Mal Muamalat that serve them. And it is part of them, right? So when they are empowered, becoming, for example, micro enterprises, they will be served by Islamic micro institution. Yeah, they will be served by Islamic micro institution. This Islamic micro institution, they are blended institution, partially social, partially commercial. And in Indonesia, we have the model which is very well known and even learned by Nigeria. It's called BMT. Baitul Mal wa Tamwil. Do you know how many Baitul Mal wa Tamwil in Indonesia? How many? Only God knows. Why? Because I tried to get the data from Kemenkop and the data from Dinas Koperasi different. So my answer, if someone asks how many BMT in Indonesia? Only God knows. Yeah, but let's say we take official data, right? Yeah. Not 100% accurate, yeah, by the way. Yeah. According to Kemenkop UKM, more than 5,000 BMT across Indonesia. So these institutions serve the unbankable society who is now at least starting the business, but they must become the members, yeah, because they are cooperative, right? Yeah. And then when they are uplifted, yeah, later on, empowered, so they are served also by fintech. By the way, since my friend is here, he is from Alami Fintech. Dr. Wahid. From Alami Fintech, ya. Alami Syariah Fintech. Saya compliant fintech, Islamic Fintech. So this fintech, along with other fintech, not only Alami, because I don't want to promote Alami only, there is also IETIS, there is also other thing, along with other forms of fintech as well, in the form of SCF, securities crowdfunding. Yeah, they help them. These people will not be able to go to bank. If they go to the bank, rejected. Yeah. So they will go to fintech, right? So or to SCF and fintech also, right? So once they are bankable, then they will be served by bank. So this is the process. So this is the way how to uplift the poor people, yeah, from unbankable to become bankable. Yeah, sorry to take a lot of time. Yeah.
The third question, I think it's also for Dr. Sutan. Oh, Ibu.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, which one?
About how to improve the knowledge about financial literacy for the Gen Z that has the lowest.
Okay, maybe I would comment first, yeah, about financial literacy. Financial literacy, what I understood is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, yeah, that is including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. So this is there are two things. The first is understanding. Understanding is related to the cognitive ability of someone. So when you are asking about how to promote the understanding, provide the education, train them. Yeah, that's including for the younger generation, the millennial, post-millennial generations, and as well as the social women entrepreneurs. So it's important for institutions like us, higher educations, to take a part actively to provide them like training programs, something what is it to make the better understanding. That's first. If someone understand, if someone understand well of something, it may drive them to use. So, but in some cases, people doing without understanding. Yeah. But I think for younger generations, they have the ability to think rationally. So if they think and they believe that they will get the benefit, I think they will utilize it. That's one thing. That also belongs to the younger generations, the post-millennial generation. Maybe they do not aware because they do not understand. So it is our responsibility for myself as educator. We have to communicate with them. Maybe doing like this conference seminar, communicate with them. For the entrepreneurs, it is not only about the understanding. In some cases, maybe about the ability to scale the business. Based on my previous research on micro entrepreneurs' ability, the majority of them, they decided not doing the financial management thing. They're just using their own money. They're relying on their internal resources. So when they see they are not able to upscale the business, yeah, it's just a matter of maybe there is no rezeki. God doesn't want my business become bigger. They are not thinking that maybe they can do to the bank Sharia, the Sharia banking, to expand the business. So first, it's about the ability to upscale the business, but maybe also related to belief. Because when I talk with the micro entrepreneurs, small medium enterprise entrepreneurs, they are not really feel comfortable if they are using the credits. Yeah, they just want to use their own money, their family's money to do the business. They don't want to have like lebih besar pasak daripada tiang ya. Yeah, that's maybe about the mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. Because when we are talking about the entrepreneurial mindset, it's related to how the entrepreneur are proactive to see the opportunity, how they are willing to take a risk, and how they are innovative enough. So in this setting, in this case, I don't think they are quite they have a good entrepreneurial mindset. That may affect to what you are asking, how financial literacy promote social entrepreneurs, maybe to make the business bigger, growth, and so on. That's my comments. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you, Prof. Nurul. Prof. Asad, Prof. Kabir would like to add some comments, maybe. Okay.
So let me relate it to this question, but an overall observation. I travel quite extensively, and just a little bit background about me. I came to the United States at the age of 19. I'll be 61 in 2 days. October 1st is my birthday. So point that I'm trying to say that, so my background and growing up, intellectual development happened in the West, in the United States. But out of my inner urging, I tried to learn Islamic finance. That's the reason it brought me to many different Islamic countries. So my experience, what I find, is that Indonesia is taking the right holistic approach to promote Islamic economy. Islamic finance is just a small component of this big game. Even within the Islamic finance, we have made an original scene. The scene is we wanted to promote Islamic finance through Islamic banking. As Emir said, if you go to the Islamic bank and you want, let's say you have an idea, you want to get a loan, they will just say no, because you do not have some tangible product or collateral to give. And that's where the Islamic microfinance, Muhammad Yunus, brought into the picture. But the problem with his approach is riba-based. So money was taken, but money was in somebody else because the poor people are hungry. If you take money, first you need to, take care of our hunger, then you can get into other things. That's why I bring in the other sectors on Islamic finance. I'm not saying that Islamic banking should go away, but Islamic banking can do only, it has a limitation. Because the model that Islamic banking has taken from the conventional banking system, fractional reserve, it cannot do more than murabaha, short-term financing, period. And you should not really force them to do more than that. Make sure they at least micro sharia or micro maqasid, the form, they do it correctly and do it right. And because we have a serious problem in Bangladesh with the Islamic finance industry, banking right now, because the Sharia compliance in the regulation was lax. Having said this, so what can be done? Economy that in Indonesia says, the Indonesia is a model, like they talk about zakat, Bisnis, they talk about waqf, and now they have combined both KNEKS, all the 16. The political will in Indonesia is promotion of Islamic economy industry. Now, having said this, what I'm saying, unfortunately, the halal economy is also dissected. It seems to me a twin was, separated at birth. We look for halal chicken, but we never look at how it was financed. Yes. In many cases, that halal chicken was financed by haram money. If in the case, Rocky, he's a by birth US citizen. So my son is also by birth US citizen. If Rocky wants to become the president of the United States, he can be, by the way. Look at this guy. What I'm trying to say, one of the American president, Obama, was also spent some of his time in his life. The interesting part, if you are an immigrant to the United States, you know what you do first thing? You first thing look for a masala where you can pray. And the second thing, you look for halal chicken, and you stop there. We are segmenting. Islam is a code of life. We need to really bring everything together. I want to give an example. In India, cows are holy. You cannot kill it, this and that. Do you know India is the third largest beef exporter in the world? So, inside they worship and outside they sell it and kill it. It's very contradiction. But you cannot have two ilaha. Sometimes say that, okay, separate your religion. I'm talking about the ritualistic religion, the relationship between God and the relationship with fiqh muamalat. So you think that you have ilah on the top, on the sky, and another ilah on the zameen or on the world. You really need to have the social capital that she mentioned. If you want to bring Islamic finance, the social capital is very important. Social entrepreneurship is part of the social. Unfortunately, if you look at the 57 OIC Muslim countries, if you look at the corruption index, we are at the top. So how can it be? If you come to you may hear a lot of bad things of the United States, or they drink, they this and that, LGBTQ, but this is part of their culture. Drinking is not haram into their culture, but it is haram. So they're fine, and they, dating this and that, this is part of their culture. But if you look at in Muslim countries, the values that are supposed to uphold, speaking the truth, no cheating, no fraud, nothing, they never really do in the United States. I have been teaching 34 years at the university. I have never seen, boyfriend, girlfriend sitting next to each other to cheat or look at each other's paper. I cannot say the same thing about the Islamic countries. So we need to really reduce the level of corruption, and corruption is coming part of not following the spirit of Islamic values. You may do a lot of beautiful things, this policy, that policy. Until you purify inner soul, nothing is going to happen. So you really need to have all those things that you're doing, Basna's doing, beautiful work. I think in Indonesia, hopefully if they continue and if the political new government is coming president, Provo, I know it's a little bit crazy, but if he follows follows the policy of the previous government, the vice president was, because he was alim and probably he was behind it. And I hope the vice president, the younger vice president, will be some same. Alim. Oh, great. So I think it will go in the right direction. And I'm sorry, Mr. Prabhu, I just sorry. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Kabir, for reminding us to still embody Islamic value into our daily life. So today, as the time limit, I would like to conclude and to express the gratitude to our speakers for sharing their profound insight and expertise. May we carry the knowledge and may Allah bless our efforts today. Thank you all for the participation. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.